Beijing and Washington agreed to extend a tariff truce for another 90 days, only hours before it was due to expire Tuesday. The move staves off triple-digit duties on each other's goods, where U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods would have shot up to 145% and Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods would have hit 125%. It would have been a virtual trade embargo between the two countries. The delay buys crucial time for U.S. retailers, as imports surge for the critical end-of-year season. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social Monday that he had signed an executive order suspending higher tariffs until November, while China's Commerce Ministry issued a parallel pause on extra tariffs early on Tuesday. It also suspended adding some U.S. firms it targeted in April to trade and investment restriction lists. China said the extension was, quote, a measure to further implement the important consensus reached by the two heads of state during their June 5th call, and would provide stability to the global economy. On Sunday, Trump had asked China to quadruple the soybeans it buys in a Truth Social post, but he did not repeat that demand on Monday. The two sides had announced a truce in their trade dispute in May in Geneva, Switzerland, agreeing to a 90-day period to allow further talks. They met again in Stockholm, Sweden in late July, and U.S. negotiators returned to Washington with a recommendation that Trump extend the deadline. Commerce Department data showed last week imports from China early this year surged to beat Trump's tariffs, but dropped steeply in June. The U.S. trade deficit with China tumbled by roughly a third in June to $9.5 billion, its narrowest since February 2004. Over 5 consecutive months of declines, the U.S. trade gap with China has narrowed by over $22 billion, a 70% reduction from a year earlier. Washington has also been pressing Beijing to stop buying Russian oil over Moscow's war in Ukraine, with Trump threatening to impose secondary tariffs on China.